Hello everybody, I am Tom, and you are watching me play Vampyr. I actually tried to start this episode 3 times, but that guy, the priest behind me, kept yelling death and doom. I'm going to talk to him.
The time will come when you will all be judged for your sins. Even now, he judges your words and actions.
Seems like a pretty pious dude. Which, I mean, for a prince. A priest, fair enough.
Son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Johnathan Reid, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Interesting. So he's pious to the point of anti-science, which is interesting.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No.
He has God.
But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
That sounds dangerous.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
That sounds like a bad decision.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he
walks through the valley of the shadow of death. Well, fair enough, I suppose. Quote the Bible, that'll keep you alive.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Interesting.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Ritualistic burning. Fair enough.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
The London Bridge is burning down.
His own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flame.
Holy shit. This guy's gonna burn London to the ground in a religious fervor.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light.
Okay.
This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Tobias believes the vicar of St. Mary's Church, Joseph Larrabee, is preaching a false faith. I'm tempted to kill this guy because I feel like he's literally gonna try and...
What do you mean when you say that
All
quite a...
for you.
Well,
As a
what do you...
the beast, we must
What is...
cleanse.
What do you...
All
Quite a...
for you.
I am.
So that's very interesting. Like, cleansing by fire, the idea is, like, it's very... has a lot of history and religiosity of burning people or burning things for purification. And I think it's probably based in a factual statement that if you have bodies from an epidemic, for instance, if you burn the bodies, you can potentially kill any bacteria that could cause infection, or you can kill, or just destroy the bodies so there's no longer disease that can spread from the bodies and things. So there's probably some scientific basis behind it that kind of warped it around. The same kind of thing, I think, with sort of religious food restrictions, like kosher, for instance, or halal. Like, you're not allowed to eat pigs in either of those. And I think probably where that came from, in its originality, I'm an atheist, so I don't believe it came from God, but I believe it probably came from the fact that you have... Like, pig is very easy to get sick if you do not cook it properly. And same with shellfish, again, banned in kosher. I'm not sure if that's actually banned in halal. I don't know. But in any case, in kosher you can't eat shellfish. And shellfish, same thing, you can get sick if you don't prepare it properly. So I guess the idea was when you didn't have as thorough a cooking method, or not necessarily as thorough a cooking method, if you just ban the food and say that, oh, you can't eat this because you'll get sick, essentially, or you can't eat this because God said so, which is a fairly good way of stopping people doing things, then you could actually save people. That's my theory anyway. Don't know how much water it holds. There we go.
You know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital. I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Interesting. So he's taking issue with the perceived promiscuity of nurses, I suppose?
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Fucking commie women. Dorothy was a clandestine resistant in her homeland. Okay.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Interesting. He's a very persistent journalist. I think he's just broken, but you know, whatever. Alright, so we have to head up and behind. What is this way? Okay, I know where that is. But I want to go... Oh, hello.
I'm cheap and
Oh.
I'm...
Yeah, it's Christina, she just moved. So there's... I can go up here. I don't know the purpose of coming up here, but I can. I guess maybe...
I cannot enter.
Huh. You can't, like, climb over things, so I can't get back there, but... Oh well. Unless I can go up higher? Doesn't look like it. Oop. Alright. So apparently this poet is back here somewhere. Who are you?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reid. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Interesting. I don't know what Johnathan
Very
meant
well.
when he said that.
Goodbye then.
Actually, I'll talk to her again, because it's very weird where it goes into a loading screen before you talk to people. It's happened a few times to me. It usually just works, but like I think it's because they're like in the middle of a turning animation or something, so it doesn't know how to...
Hello again, miss.
There we go. She's perfectly healthy, so I can say goodbye.
Very well. Goodbye then.
A small bouquet of flowers with a voucher for a free medical checkup hidden between the flowers. Interesting. If you're sick, if you have no money, whoever you are, wherever you're from, come see Dorothea to get help. No tricks, no charges, no questions asked. Just find Darius Petrushko's house and present this coupon. Dacă sentuite bolnav sinu avete bani. Oricine ate fisi de oriande ate veni, Dorothea va apato ajuta nu este pace leela gratitud discret. Benedite la cruza lui Darius Petrushko cu axe coupon. So I don't know how to speak Romanian, but that's my shot. Camilla secretly distributes medical vouchers for Dorothea. Yep. Oh, I figured that out. That wasn't particularly hard to figure out. Oh my god, it worked! The letter! I was just saying, was that last episode? It may have been last episode. I was talking to the journalist, and he said that Darius took a letter, and he took it all the way to the letterbox, but instead he ripped it up and threw it in the bin. And I was like, oh, I bet I can find that letter. And I just got the bin, which I assume is next to a letterbox. I didn't notice a letterbox, but I'll see when I get out. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry to have not heard from you for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war, but there is also a war going on here in England. A war against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I am writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now, and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now, to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me, and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country. I am as ever your loving father, Darius Petrushko. That's a really lovely letter. Weird that it's written in English and not Romanian, but we'll ignore that for now.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
I mean, that's true, but you're also an asshole for making use of that leverage.
Hello again, miss. Amelia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Indeed.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Mind control a mute girl to tell you things. It's kind of funny. Yep. That's actually a separate one. They seem to be everywhere. And they are. They're at the front of all of these houses. And there is indeed a letterbox there. Let's see. Got another bin up here. I can go this way. What is this way? This isn't the way I want to go. I'll go that way later. I want to head up behind this church.
It's locked, all right.
I mean, really, Johnathan? You could just, Ugh. Borgie bloody doctor. Refuses to lift a leg just to get over something. How does one get in there if I can't... Maybe I have to go like a long way around? Let me look at the map. I can go all the way around the other side, so I'll go try and do that. Kind of annoying though. Anything in here? Nothing obvious in here. It's kind of weird that it even lets me in here. That's very strange. I don't know why it lets me into this little garden area. Like, it could just been all fenced off. I guess maybe there's something that happens there later, I don't know. But, let's head up this way. Can I get through? I can get through here, okay. Oh, there's another one. That should kill him, I think, and give him my blood back. It didn't actually kill him, but got close. Close enough that I could kill him afterwards. Alright. Once again, cigarette case. These guys smoke like chimneys. This isn't even actually a gate. It's just blocked off completely. So there are skulls all over this place. Lead plate. I have to check all these doors because it never looks really discreet to me whether a door I can walk into or not. Unless a thing shows up saying that I can. Okay. Fair enough. So I guess this way, through this door. I assume the poet. He's reading from a book.
Sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Definitely the poet.
Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
It's a very poet name too. Richard Nethercott. Straight to the point.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know.
Beauty and mystery.
She's a
Interesting.
locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Camilla is like a muse to Richard Nethercott, who sees her like a locked mystery. Interesting. Afraid to find the truth about her? No, I don't think he's afraid. He just prefers the mystery,
you're
right?
just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
That's what I was thinking. Like, he's interested in her because she's... yeah, Camilla is locked mystery, yeah. He's interested in her because she's mysterious. If you take away the mystery, it's boring and mundane.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles, and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes.
And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Poet looking for tragedy to get inspiration. That's probably fairly common, I would say.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
Interesting. I mean, it's a somewhat nihilistic attitude, but fair enough, I suppose.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
I mean, he's kind of correct, I suppose. Also, he has a cold, which I can treat. I'm going to finish this dialogue wheel first, though.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere
Jesus.
to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
I do respect the fact that he's forthright. I mean, it's very dark, and as I said, slightly nihilistic to talk about, like, well, I mean, the silver lining of all these people dying of the flu is that it's a lot quieter at nighttime because no one goes out. And there's less people and everybody's sick. But I think that's exactly his point, is that it's a silver lining to the horrible situation. As he said, it's a tragedy that all of these innocent people are dying. He's not saying that, oh great, these people are dying, now I get peace and quiet. He's saying the silver lining of all these people dying is there is this peace and quiet. So it's kind of... I said it was nihilistic. It's not nihilistic, it's more optimistic, really. You're looking at the bright side of a tragedy.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Huh.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
I mean, he's got me there. I did kill the Skull on the way here. Personal questions... I will ask that. In fact, I'll ask this now.
Did you know the Mute Florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
Well, that seems to be true. These people seem to just want to help people. Granted, them just helping people is causing unforeseen and unintended consequences, like the fact that the merchants are all going broke, and hence can't feed themselves.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Mythical.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reid.
That's very true. Alright, so this is the only thing left, I believe. Yep. But first, I'm gonna cure him.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. but I appreciate your concern, sir.
Alright, and finally this.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Interesting. So that makes sense why he's together with her, is that they're both communists. And he was a political activist for communism. Darius does not want to see his children anymore to avoid being a burden to them. That's very sad. He also has bronchitis, which also sucks. I don't think I can cure bronchitis. Where are my cures here? I can cure bronchitis, actually. So I can go and cure him, so that's something, I suppose. So I can cure bronchitis. I can't cure migraine. I can cure bronchitis. I've never met you, but there's something wrong with you, apparently. Alright, cool.
I'll leave you alone, sir. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy at this point. Although I think that... Oh, editor refused... Oh, he threw it in the bin. Sycophant Publishing Limited. That's kind of hilarious. Lavender Court, Camden Street, London. Dear Mr. Nithercott, thank you for sending your book of poems, Songs from the Defeated City, which we found as interesting and profound as we were told you the first time we... Sorry, that we found as interesting and profound as we told you the first time we received it. Alas, in the terrible times our country is currently facing, you must understand that such a title would be totally inappropriate for any publication. Thus, since we still refuse to change your title and demand a full publication of none of your work, I'm sorry to announce that Sycophantic Publishing chose a second option. So, chose the second option of not publishing the work. Interesting. So once again, there, as was talking about earlier, with the reporter, it seems that the powers that be, whether it be editors or publishers, want to uplift morale, as it were, and by doing so they only want to have positive things, which could be being pushed down government side as well, is a possibility. Is the idea that there's pressure to make things appear better than they are, so that people have, well, as I said, a morale boost, as it were. I can open this from this side though. Cool. Sweet. Shortcut. Is there anything else? Yeah, he's just... This seems to be like where he's like living, essentially. Alright. I'm going to talk to the flower girl again, and then I think that's going to be it for this episode. It was a heavy talking episode.
Hello again, miss.
But I think now that I know that she's the muse... There we go, tell me about Richard
Tell
Nithercott.
me about Richard Nithercott.
She can't speak.
I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
Oh god. What a ridiculous set of things that just happened
Very
there.
well. Goodbye then.
She's mute! You can't force her to talk to you, Jonathan, you idiot. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's episode, and next time we're going to go back and talk to... Just wait until I get to... Oh, goddammit, I can't come this way, I have to go the other way. We're going to talk to Petrescu and get him to let us in, because we know pretty much everything about him now, so we should be able to get him in. And we can also cure his bronchitis, which would be also quite useful. I'm going to walk away from this guy so that he shuts up. There we go. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye.